we can continue with the program. Ms. Nuret, you can just unmute your mic and then you can welcome us all at home so that we can feel at liberty and at home. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Kate Metze. I'm excited, you guys. I don't know about you or where you are, but I just got home. I feel like saying I just arrived, but yes, I just arrived and I'm happy, I'm excited. It's such a privilege, just as our host was speaking, to hear to be at the forefront of, all these experiences that the young female leaders have, talking about the sisterhood, talking about the sweetness of all the leaders. Because in the world here now, sometimes leadership does not have a feminine face, but we get to be at the forefront of bringing that feminine face, getting to bring that sweetness into leadership, and it's beautiful, to see. So there's a lot of information in the world right now. So much information. Everywhere you go, your face is bombarded with so much information. But to us, we always ask ourselves, is this quality information? Is this helpful information that will assist a young female leaders trying to, get their way through whatever sector of, career they've chosen to follow, whatever thing that they've chosen to do, be it at home, be it, at work, wherever you are. So for us, it's about the quality of information that we get to bring to you. So I am excited. That's the reason as to why I am excited that we are hosting this specific session so that we can learn about, getting to put up a winning, or as I like to say it, a kick-ass, application. They just read your application and they can't help but, just invite you in and say, yes, we want to work with you. This is winning. This is what we are looking forward to. So my name is Nura Twamaya. I am the Social Media and Engagement Associate at the Amazon Leadership Initiative, the ALI, not Ali, not the space Ali, not Ali, the Amazon Leadership Initiative, the ALI. Yes, and I've been given this opportunity to just welcome everybody to the platform. So please feel free to ask your questions, feel free to speak, feel free to, do anything, laugh with somebody, put your concerns on the chat, and we'll be here to ensure that all that is addressed today. So in doing all this, we aim to just ensure that you never doubt that you're valuable, one, you're powerful, and you're equal, and you stand a chance. Some of these applications seem so much. You look at the questions and you're tired already before you even begin. But we're just here to encourage you and to tell you that keep pushing, and to just encourage you and to tell you that it's possible. We have a lineup of, speaker Tsaone, who is a successful applicant of this, of the Mandela Washington Fellowship. So we're not just saying things, learn even from YouTube or wherever. You're telling you things that have been done and have been proven to have worked and to have won. So be rest assured that this is it. This information that we're giving you is out of experience. As they say, experience is one of the best teachers out here. So get your pens ready, ensure that it has enough ink, get your notebooks ready, ensure that you have some clear pages that you can write on. And if you're typing, getting your typing gear on, to take notes and everything. But as always, we want you to ensure that almost everyone in your circle gets to know that this session is happening. So remember to share the link to your friends, to your families, to your enemies, even, whoever would want to, you think will benefit from this. So share the link to everyone that, will benefit from this. And also, do not forget to share your beautiful insights on our social media platforms. That is the Amazon Leadership Initiative, the ALI, on all platforms, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, or on Twitter X, or on all those medias, on LinkedIn, on TikTok. We're on TikTok, guys. We're on TikTok. So share share everywhere, and use the hashtag Black Girl, your dreams are valid. But I understand that we have a couple of male participants, not to send you away or to ostracize you. You can use the hashtag Black Child, your dreams are valid. So thank you guys for joining. And personally, I'm looking forward to a great session. I know I've already said that because I am. And welcome. Declare this session officially open. Thank you so much. Back to you, K2 Metse.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. I indeed now feel at home, hey? You know, after a certain welcome, you can now feel that you're at liberty, your spirit is at ease. And that's me right now. And with that being said, for the welcome, I feel I can also introduce myself. Who am I? So those who just joined in now, my name is Kitumetse Lebalo, and I am a third and final year student doing diploma in economics at the People's University called Tsaone University of Technology. And I'm a proud member of the ALI. I'm a member of the Pan-African Network of Young Female Leaders. I'm a former ambassador of the Global Youth Ambassador. I'm a former ambassador of the World Literacy Foundation. I am the former face of Hammanskraal 2021. I am the former Miss Culture International finalist for 2022, and I'm an alumni of the Young African Leaders Initiative under the Code of Public Management and Leadership. And by side hustle, I'm an MC, and also I'm a tutor at my university, tutoring first years. With that being said, I think I've just introduced myself. The stage is not about me today, but I just wanted you guys to know who am I, so that you just know who is this lady behind such a deep voice, I guess. Some people would say that my voice is sometimes squeaky, some others would say it's skinny, I don't know. But then, however it is, let us continue pushing, guys. We are aiming and we are going forward. With that being said, I'm going to read the profile. I'm going to read the bio of the lady who will be talking to us, who will be giving us the line of march about the Mandela Washington Fellowship. And I'm going to read her bio. And then after reading her bio, we can just send some comments there, clapping hands to show that we will welcome her, Ms. Tsaone Mosweu. And her bio reads as follows. Tsaone Mosweu is a visually impaired young woman from Botswana supporting the advancement of sexual reproductive health and rights for women and young people with disabilities. She holds a degree in public health, currently pursuing Master of Philosophy in Human Rights, specializing in sexual and reproductive rights in Africa. She is a consultant for the disability and youth programs with the United Nations Population Fund Botswana, where she supports development of disability-inclusive SRH programs, leads meaningful engagement and participation of adolescents and young people with disabilities in different SRH policy and programming platforms nationally, regionally, and globally. She organized and take part in high-level engagements with key decision makers, including parliamentarians and traditional leaders, on advancing SRHR for all. She is driven by contributing to a world where the rights of persons with disabilities are respected and fulfilled. Ms. Mosweu is a 2024 Mandela Washington Fellowship alumni. Ladies and gentlemen, can you please give it up for Ms. Tsaone Mosweu, everyone? Woo! So, as Ms. Tsaone is also preparing herself right now to unmute her mic, I hope that we all have our pens ready, our notepads are ready. We are all ready for this evening. Because it is going to be a very hectic session. We are all going to learn. We're definitely going to get better people. We're definitely going to know how to do those essays so that we can all get in there. I want someone to attest and say, you know, that session that I attended, I am the one who was taken. So based on what was discussed. So, Tsaone, welcome. How are you today? Miss Tsaone, can you hear me? All right. While Tsaone is busy with fixing her mic, I'm just going to request you guys, perhaps you can just send questions in the chat box. Just send us the questions that you guys have and that we can ask. Maybe you want to be one of the first people to your questions to be recognized. Feel free in the chat box, you can drop them there and I'll be able to read them. You perhaps they say the earliest worms the what they say what the earliest birds they catch the freshest worms. Yes, so definitely make sure that you send those questions. They say she's trying to join, she'll be here. So let's just exercise a couple of patience. I see.
Hello everyone. I I am having challenges with the device I'm using now. Allow me a few moments to change devices because I've been trying to unmute for quite some time now. I'm so sorry.
So, okay, Puseletso Lefakane, I see you asked the question. You said, when do applications open? So the applications they have opened. Hence, we are also organizing this meeting so that we can help each other to apply. And I was actually a friend of mine was talking about the Mandela Washington Fellowship, and she recommended that when I apply, I must actually, after doing my essay, it's advisable that I perhaps ask a friend to edit, to proofread my work. And it really made sense. How many of us have read something and you thought your work is correct? And until someone read it for you and like, no, this is what is happening. Yes, thank you, Lena Shidika. She said that the due date is on the 10th of September. So please make sure that you get a friend to proofread your work. Don't just send it through. It's always better, it's always advisable that your work is proofread, because trust me, your mistake, it won't be a mistake if you knew that it is a mistake. I don't know if you get it, but if you're for you to know your mistake, it must be what? You must not recognize that that's what makes a mistake. So Pusela Telefakani says applications close in 5 days. Yes, correct. Because the due date is on the 10th of September. So Black child, your dreams are valid. Go for it. Challenge yourself. And if they don't take you this year, please don't give up. Try again next year. Make sure that you do not give up. Keep trying, keep trying. And I'm an alumni of the Young African Leaders Initiative. Unfortunately, when I was chosen, it was during COVID. So we did it online. So we never really got to experience the physical, the contact, the networking sessions that people actually talk about. We just had it. We had our group chats online. Yes, it was very challenging, especially to reach out. So this time it's gonna be contact. So I think it's gonna even be bigger and it's gonna be better. It keeps on getting bigger and better, and because it's a very good network platform for people to interact. I always say people must go for such programs because you never know which door it will actually open. um Millicent, I see your question. What is that winning statement or paragraph in a motivational statement for the application? What needed to be included and that which is not? All right. I've noted your question down as well. Thank you so much. Remember to keep on forwarding us your questions. Perhaps if you have people who wanted to actually comment, maybe I didn't recognize you on the impact of the Ali or what you actually are looking forward to. You can feel free. Okay, another question that came in from Puseletso says, do you need to attach any recommendation letters? It's good, okay? It's very good to always ask questions. You will never know until you ask. And you know what's the best thing? There's no silly question, there's no little question, there's no big question. All questions are relevant. They can either help you or they can even help the next person. So they can even help, we can shoot a stone for two birds. So a question that don't underestimate the power of your question. Your question can really help someone. Millicent also asks, is it okay to share a LinkedIn profile link for the speakers? I would like to connect with them. Okay, which speaker? I think Tsaone. Do you mean Tsaone or who? Millicent, you can just specify which speakers you're talking about. You mean for today's event or who? Just don't want to jump my horses. Ladies and gentlemen, and another thing, I believe that this program is very good if one wants to challenge themselves. For us, for growth in order to be there, there must be an there must be a certain discomfort. You will never grow where you are comfortable. You must grow out of your comfort zone. You must move out of your comfort zone in order for you to experience growth. Yes, you can still grow where you are in your comfort zone, but not as much as when you challenge yourself, when you set goals for yourself that scare you. You know, there's a saying that says, if your dreams, they don't scare you, they are not big enough. So they must really challenge you, these dreams, so that you can aim higher, so that you can know that, you know, this thing is definitely something that I want to go for. So yeah, while we're still waiting for it, I'm still going to be taking your questions, your comments. What are you actually looking forward to? How has the Ali really impacted you? So that we can actually testify of the goodness of the Ali. You know, it's sometimes good. We sometimes meet through events, but once we get to events, we go straight into the agenda. But then it's such moments like this whereby we can actually reflect a bit and then say, oh, but this thing has really been this way. And not when something is gone and then now you start reminiscing about it. I don't know if someone gets what I'm saying. There was a question, there was a comment that I didn't read out here. It says, "Good evening, everyone. The Ali has granted me an opportunity to meet other young people, to exchange and learn from them. The Ali showed us how to leverage on social media and make everything we do count. Through the Ali, was able to facilitate something which I had not done before. I expect to learn tips on how to answer the essay questions on the Mandela Washington Fellowship application." Thank you so much, Muriel, for such a touching comment. So powerful. It's such spaces like the Ali where one gets to challenge themselves. They would ask who wants to facilitate, who would like to. It's where we volunteer ourselves in order to realize our passion, in order to realize our strengths. And there's always room for improvement, and there's always room for change. There's always room to become better people. So Tsaone is back. Tsaone, are you now able to speak? Is your mic okay now?
I'm good.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. With that said, how are you? How have you been?
I've been good. Just that, when you're trying to join and things are not happening the way you have expected, you find yourself panicking, but I'm good now because I've managed to do everything, and I'm now settled and well.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Patience is virtue, guys. There's a saying that says patience is virtue. With that said, Tsaone, I see in your bio you advocate for women and children with disabilities. Before we delve deeper into the Mandela Washington Fellowship session, what inspired you to push the advancement of the Auckland reproductive health and rights for women and young people with disabilities?
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for having me. A very good evening, everyone. I'm happy you are all here. And to respond to your question, like you read in my bio, I am visually impaired, and I've been visually impaired since I was 12 years. And as someone who has experienced firsthand the abuse, the challenges, and the barriers faced by most people with disabilities, I just took it upon me to be the change I need, and I I dedicated my life to advocating for the advancements of the rights of persons with disabilities. I I I I dedicated my life myself to being the voice for those who are yet to find their voices, to empower them and to speak on their behalf in spaces they can't be in, and in areas they may be uncomfortable talking about. Like when you talk about sexual and reproductive health for persons with disabilities, sometimes it's something that makes people very uncomfortable, and it's those things that that makes people uncomfortable that need someone to talk about, so that people can also get to understand that this is what we need to do and this is what we need to continue discussing, so that we can do things better.
Wow, this is so beautiful. It just reminded me, I just reminded of a question someone asked. Do you think there is enough resources actually to capacitate the special needs of disabled people in our society, if I may ask, from your experience?
Okay. From my experience and from the experience of those that I have interacted with, the harsh truth is that persons with disabilities are often left behind. Their rights are often overlooked and seriously violated. There are no resources. There is lack of recognition of them as equal beings of the society, and it's very hard to navigate through challenges and get to be somewhere when you have a disability, because you start with trying to convince people that I'm as capable as you. I am as willing and as able to engage in all that you engage with.
as you are. So it's a very challenging world. It's a very harsh society that we get to find ourselves living in, and trying so hard every day, trying to make people understand that we also need what they need. We are also entitled to what they are entitled to, and we are also capable and very equal, just like they are.
Wow. Wow. So you just reminded me of what they say is that it's not, you are not disabled, you are actually differently abled. So powerful, so powerful. I love that. And just the last question before I go into the Mandela Washington Fellowship. Do you think as much as there are policies that actually advocate for women empowerment, do you think there is enough women and people living with disabilities representation in workspaces like the corporates? Because they can advocate and say that we want women and people living with disabilities to occupy spaces, to occupy positions. But do you think there is actually enough advocacy for them? Is it really being implemented? Because as much as it might look good on paper, but the action, is it balancing?
The first and first is the advocacy as not as enough. Even the actions are not as they should be. Like, they're not at the level at which we expect them to be, because for so many years we've been talking about women empowerment. Now we're bringing in the aspect of disability. Such intersectionalities bring multiple discrimination, and we find that when you're a woman, then you get to have a disability, then you are young, you find yourself working very hard to try making people understand that, okay, in this position that you are hiring for, I can also take part in this and do the work meaningfully if you provide for me the necessary equipments that I will need to work, just as you are providing for other employees. I will not need the very same ones that you are providing for other employees, but I will need this kind of resources for me to be as effective as they are. So it becomes a difficult one when you now get to be looking like you are expensive, and you are bringing extra cost to the entities, to the companies, and it takes long for people to recognize that, okay, there's people, when you get hired, in most cases, it's like they are just trying to see if really you can do what you say you are doing, you are able to do. So it's still a space that is very hard to navigate, because we still need to be talking and to be proving and to be trying so hard to convince. But I'm glad when you're talking about the corporate space. I'm glad that the Botswana Diamond Company in Botswana has been hiring persons with disabilities. That shows that at least someone somewhere is doing something, and I just hope others will learn and implement as much as they can to make sure they bring on board people with disabilities to also be part of the ones that are contributing to the economy. Thanks.
Powerful, powerful indeed. There's a saying that says slow progress is better
Yeah.
than no progress at all. With that being said, let's get into the business of the night. I want you to tell us about the Mandela Washington Fellowship eligibility criteria. So in order for me to be eligible, what is the first things first? Before we can even write an essay, there's a certain criteria you must meet. And I think you are the perfect person to just elaborate it for us. The floor is yours.
All right, thanks. First and first, you need to be between 25 and 35 years. You also, they also take those that are from 21 to 24 when there's some special consideration, when they see that what you are bringing is actually noticeable and worth taking you with this group that is a little older, and and that is true. It's not that they are just saying we can take those that are 21 to 24. We actually had someone who is 23 years. We had someone who is 23 years in our cohort, and that's the first thing. And the other thing is there are 3 tracks of the fellowship. There's the business management, the public management, and the leadership and civic engagement. Then you need to be able to choose from one of those tracks and prove what you have experienced, what your goals are in under that track, and what you wish to learn and bring back to your community, to your society. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So there is a chance for me to be taken if you are perhaps between 21 to 24. And
Yes.
how does it work? If you are 20, if you are 35, on the time of when you apply, you're allowed, maybe for instance, I apply on the 10th of September and I'm 35, but when the program starts, I'll be 36. Do you think that one is still acceptable, or how would they work around that one?
You need to not be 35 before the 10th of September.
Noted.
If you are 35 after the 10th of September, you are eligible. When you are 35 on the 9th of September, you don't qualify.
Okay, all right. Interesting indeed. And if I may ask now, do you guys do it online? Someone might ask, is it an online thing, or is it a contact, or is it a hybrid? What happens once you get accepted in this thing?
Okay, once you get accepted, so there's a stage that you go through, the interview stage and all that. But when you get accepted, first and first is just you preparing to going through your visas. But the main thing is that you go for 6 weeks to an institute in the United States, and for the last week, that's the 7th week, for 3 days, you go for a summit in Washington, D.C. So as you attending academic sessions for 6 weeks, doing community work, engaging in cultural exchange sessions, and any other activities that you may volunteer to engage in, or that are mandatory for people to be taking part in. Like sometimes you have family dinners, but those are you volunteer to be part of such engagements. And after that 6 weeks, then you'll be going to Washington, D.C. to attend the summit. Then there's um, the professional development experience is for 4 weeks. Then after the summit, there were those that are selected for the professional development experience that remained in the US to go to a US based organization to be such as a form of an internship or an attachment, to go there and work for a month and learn from that institution, from that organization, and just also take part in the day-to-day activities of that organization. Yeah.
Wow, this is so interesting. I think it gets in more interesting and more interesting. And what you've just said, I can't even imagine it in 6 weeks. How do you guys even do this thing in 6 weeks? It seems like it's a lot of things to do, but it sounds like it's fun. And now going into the essay writing tips. Also Millicent asks, what is the winning statement or paragraph in a motivational statement for the application? What needed to be included and that which is not? So while you're just giving us, explaining to us the essay writing tips, please also just remember Millicent's question on what is the winning statement, what to actually include in your essay writing, what not to include. Yes, just those things. Please just explain to us and iron it out to us, especially the writing is the one thing that can either make you or break you. I was saying earlier on. So just please help us on that one. Thank you, Tsaone.
Okay. I wouldn't, let me start by Millicent's question before I forget it. I will not say there's a winning statement. You know, we differ in what we do and what we believe in, what our goals are and all those. But one thing I'll just want to mention as a word of advice. When you write your motivational essay or any of those essays, the main thing you need to consider is just be clear. You know, sometimes you try explaining a lot, or you try explaining too much, then you miss the key points. I'm not saying don't mention all that you are doing, but sometimes it's about making sure that you don't mention the things that may look like they are not significant. And trust me, there's nothing that is not significant. It's how you write it that may make it look like it's not significant. You know, sometimes you have attended a meeting. This meeting was about, maybe it was consultation, a youth consultation meeting. The main idea of the consultation being developing a national youth policy. For example, what you need to say, don't say I attended a meeting. You attended a meeting, yes, but the idea of you attending a meeting was you contributing to the development of a national youth policy. So the main thing that will make you win, if it's about maybe a winning statement, is I took part in engagements nationally that contribute to the development of the national youth policy. Like, don't underestimate what you are doing or what you take part in. I think, yes, there's no winning statement, but it's how you sell yourself and show that you are not just doing things for the sake of doing them. You are doing them to contribute to a bigger goal, to something that will bring change, whether to your nation, to your region, or to the world. Yeah.
Wow, very interesting. When you said be clear, you know, there's beauty in simplicity. Sometimes some things they don't need to be complicated out. And it's good to just explain yourself, you know, explain yourself, be as simple, be as clear as possible. And what is your take on maybe asking someone to write for you? Do you think it's recommended to ask someone to write for you? And also, I'm also asking in terms of ChatGPT, people who would be using these artificial intelligence systems that generate answers for them. Do you think they would equally as well give them the same answers as much as they would be writing them as much as they would be writing themselves. Just please help iron out that one.
Okay. I wouldn't advise giving your essays to someone to write. You may give someone your essays to review and not for them to write for you. And I'm saying this because, I'm saying I'm advocating for the rise of women and young people with disabilities. Trust me, I'm the one who knows the truth of why I am doing this. I'm the one who can structure that in a way that I understand it will make sense to the next person who is the panel reviewing my essays. So it should be about you and genuinely about you and your utmost truth. What I think about using AI, ChatGPT is, sometimes maybe you can just write and give it instructions to write an essay for you, but trust me, it won't be as genuine and provide heartfelt responses like you can do. So I I will advise I'm not against AI, but I will advise those who are applying to write. Sometimes it's just using it to help you with the English so that you put your things, your words in a way that they are appealing and good looking and a little fancy, but the main ideas and the whole thing should come from you, and is only you who understands why you are doing certain things. And sometimes, let me talk about myself. I can notice when you have used AI and you you don't want to run a risk of being disqualified just because you used ChatGPT, even when you were just trying to get yourself some form of assistance because you are struggling with something. So it's best you just ask someone to review. If maybe things are a little hard, you can just help yourself with ChatGPT with a few lines, not making it write the whole essays, the four essays for you, because I don't think that will be a very acceptable thing. And now we will be getting ourselves maybe disqualified, because how many of us will you be using ChatGPT, and how many of us will we be providing the same answers that may not put us at a better position for us to be selected.
Ooh, that is so tricky, huh? Nuret says self-disclosure. I am almost 1 week AI sober. Feels good to use my brain. Try it, y'all. Thank you so much, Nuret, for that. Indeed, I think some people would definitely take notes. I think I'm catching the addiction now because I'm doing a lot of research. So sometimes I would pick things here, pick things up, and I feel like I'm losing myself in the essence. And what Tsaone touched on, it just gave me a wake-up call to go back to myself, tap into my literature and exercise it more. When are you
Yeah.
going to exercise that literature experience? When are you going to exercise the literature skill if you are now using AI to the core? Ah, man, I can even imagine when you go to the interview stages and they see the English is not balancing with the ones that you actually use in your um application letter. It's gonna be such a mess. Let's spare ourselves from those embarrassments while we can. For the 10th of September, please. Tsaone really explained it very nicely. So, Tsaone, what are the questions they would typically ask when filling out the application? So maybe you can just tell our applicants who are interested what kind of questions they can expect. Um, it can be anyone that you can remember.
Okay. And like The most exciting thing about this is they don't even want your degree certificates. They just want you to be you. They don't want you with your masters, with your PhD, and it's a very amazing thing, because sometimes we think we don't qualify for certain things because we don't have this, we don't have that. But this one is amazing in that way. But one of the things that I also want to advise you guys, just find Nelson Mandela's quotes and make sure you know them, so that when you get to the essays, you are able to express yourself in a way that, because they will be just the quote. Like sometimes we know some and others we don't even know. Sometimes we don't even know one of them. But trust me, in the essays, there's always one that says Nelson Mandela says, and what 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 are your views, or how do you align the work you are doing with what he said, something like that. And the questions mainly is about your I know they are personal statements, and one of them is just about um, what you have done, your experience in 1 year, and your goals. What is your ultimate goal? What do you want to do to reach that goal? What do you continue doing to make sure that you come closer to reaching that goal? Those are mainly the things that they ask. Sometimes they look like they are the same, the essays, but you find that they need you to really express yourself, and make sure that you are not, you like you are able to align what you have said in essay number 1 with what you are saying in essay number 2. So I think those are the most important things to consider.
And there was a question asked that, are there any, because I hear you say they're not looking for your master's or your any qualifications. So there's no need to attach any certificates along. There was someone who also asked the question whether should one attach their certificates there, or it's not a problem, it's fine. We don't have to attach any certificates.
They will ask you for the things to attach. If it's about attachments, they might ask for maybe, your professional certificates when you show that you are participating in this and that, not really your degrees and all those. Yes. There are these yearly certificates and just other trainings and professional certificates that you have maybe gained over the years. Those are the things that they may ask for.
Okay, all right. Puseletso Lefakani, I hope that you answered with that question that you asked. So as we go deeper into this, is there a certain maybe a certain perspective or a certain bias that people who would apply for the Mandela Washington Fellowship would have? Maybe they have a certain perspective that is a certain narrative about the Mandela Washington Fellowship that I think we need to address. Maybe that when you attended, you saw that, oh no, people really had a very wrong perspective about this. This is actually how this thing is. Maybe is there anything like that, perhaps?
Okay. I think one thing that maybe people attach to this is that, as for very accomplished people, for people who are high level leaders in their spaces. But anyone, whether they are starting, whether they are how somewhere midway in what they are doing, whether they are at a high level, is just about what you aim to do, and how you express yourself, and how you make sure you make this work for you in your own space, and in your own leadership journey.
Wow. Oh, okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. We're not really, they're not looking for those doctorate people. They are not looking for those
No.
um PhD people. It's actually how you really express yourself, hey?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, indeed, we are learning. And if you are also learning, can you just type in the chat box, say, Black child, your dreams are valid? Because I believe that this initiative, it's for every one of us. Do you remember what Tsaone said? She said that even if you are between the ages of 21 to 24, you can try applying because there are some exceptional cases that they can really take you. So if you are with me, you can just type there in the chat box, Black child, your dreams are valid. Remember, on our social media, we are also there. So feel free to tag us on all social media platforms, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on Instagram, also on Facebook. We are there. So, Donna, what is your take on people who's what is your advice on applicants who have been accepted and they are socially awkward? You know, they are introverts, you know, those introverted people, those shy people, and they have been taken because as you say, it's a networking platform for people to engage in. So what is it that you can really advise them on?
Okay. I think you are indirectly talking about me. I first and first, I don't like being around people for a long time. So I often need my own space. And imagine being around people for 6 weeks. Hey, you'll get tired. So I think the the most important thing that you do when you get there, since we just there to build connections, network, engage in different activities. It's also about you being honest with yourself. You know it. You know you are socially awkward. You know you are uncomfortable around people. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to try hard to be like someone else. You don't need to be shouting to show that you are happy to be around people. You don't need to be dancing if that makes you uncomfortable. So I would say, like, being honest with yourself is the very important thing. An example about me, I told them I don't like noisy places. So sometimes when we are just there and maybe it start getting noisy, people are start chatting louder and they start playing music too loud, I just leave. Because when people are having fun and it's the kind of thing they like and it's what makes you uncomfortable, the best thing is to just take care of yourself and do what works for you. Yeah.
Wow, do what works for you. Definitely do what works for you. Um, I love that. I think we are really learning. We are definitely unlearning, and we are becoming the better people in order to ensure that we ace this application. Remember, you can feel free to enter your comments in the chat box. And as we continue, I will read it out. Tekiso Makale says, I'm really happy with the information I've received thus far. And unfortunately, I have to go off for a while. Electricity is giving us a runaround and my battery is low. Hashtag Black Child, your dreams are valid. Thank you so much, Tekiso, for joining in this session to also grab some wisdom nuggets that we all are aiming and hoping to learn from. And also, I've heard that they are people who applied about 3 or 4 times. After that, the applications was accepted after maybe those 3 or 4 times. Do you think what is your word of encouragement to such people who would really apply and they would get rejected? Do you think it's really about them, or what is really the cause of them being rejected?
That's as a very competitive initiative that's have a lot of people applying, many people. Imagine in Botswana, we applied, they had 500 applicants and they had to select 19. So you'll find that you are competing with many people in the whole of Africa. Last year who applied, we were more than 59,000 and they had to select 700. So sometimes it's not about you. This is a numbers game as well. Even if it's about competing, showing what you have achieved, maybe your experience, your goals, your aspirations, and all other things, is also about them getting the numbers they want. So I wouldn't say it's about you. Sometimes, yes, it's about you. Let me give you an example. I applied the first time in 2021. I for the cohort that was going to go to the US in 2022. So I could feel myself during the interview that no, I'm not getting this. So sometimes when you're not doing it right, you can also see and feel it. But sometimes it's about just you going back for that particular year and just adding what you have done. And you, as we grow, we have new goals, aspirations, we get better with time. So don't think is about you not being a good a good a good leader that is worth going there. If you have something that you're able to get out of your heart and put into that application, know that you are worthy of going there. So it's just about you understanding that we grow with time. I applied again last year, and because I have gained experience, I have learned new things. I've also learned how to speak better, how to express myself better. And I think in that application for this year's cohort, I was better. And I also could feel that I'm more calm and I can hear myself speaking and thinking, and the way I'm putting my points across, they are much clearer, and they are now better, and can get myself a place in this program.
Thank you so much for that. And also, you just reminded me of something. You know, do you think there are people who are too qualified to a point that they would regard the application as they would rather not choose them because perhaps maybe you're too good and they feel that maybe there is another child, there's another person who would really deserve that opportunity, and instead they would leave you out in order for them to take someone maybe who's less qualified, and they feel as if like you are way too qualified for such an opportunity, or those things never really happen in the Mandela Washington Fellowship.
I don't know how they do their scoring, but at times when we were in the US and going through the program, sometimes there's a friend who said, those who are complaining, saying maybe the academic sessions are not as you expected, don't you think maybe you are big for the program? You are just way too high in your leadership level journey, that you this is not the program for you. Maybe it's not even about the program not being accommodative. It's just about you being way higher than what the program has to offer. So I just don't think there are instances like that. They just look at what their criteria looks for. And if you are you are at any level where they think you 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 can be selected, they'll just select you.
Wow, indeed, that is so encouraging. It is very encouraging that all of us, we are equal to the task. All of us, we are capable. This is our project. This is our go-to project. I believe that we'll have a testimony that one day someone will say that I attended that session. Remember that session that we attended on the 5th of September with Tsaone? I have been selected and I'll be going with the Mandela Washington Fellowship cohort. So we really need a testimony like that, because the immense work, that is the sacrifices that are being put in order to make such initiatives possible, they will definitely, and I believe they will truly yield results. And do you have any words of encouragement, anything you would like to add on what is being, or maybe anything you'd like to add on the Mandela Washington Fellowship, in order for the applicants to know? Just anything, any word of encouragement also on that. Just seal it with a word of encouragement also.
All right. You don't want to miss an opportunity to go to the United States, because guys, it's nice. I want you to be so curious that you want to see and feel what I'm talking about. So please make sure you don't doubt yourselves, and you just put down what comes from your head, from your heart, and you apply. There is no better English. There is no better qualified person than the other. You are just okay the way you are, and you are just great in your own way, and you are just as deserving as any other person. They don't need private school English. Just write what you can write, and make sure that it's what you genuinely feel, what you genuinely know, what you genuinely want, and just know that your dreams are valid. Trust me, if I went there, you can go there. I stay in a very small village. I was at some point in my life not sure if I was worthy of any good thing, because trust me, like I said before, when you have a disability, it's about struggling. Every day there should be something we are fighting for, something that you are arguing that is not done well for this particular community. And it starts from everywhere, just on the road, in the offices, where you engage with people that you feel and hope and thought they would understand you better. You find that they still can't understand that you are also as equal as they are. So trust me, you are very qualified, and you, if I made it to that space, you can make it to that space as well. Follow me on LinkedIn, on Facebook. I don't post a lot. The other thing that I forgot to talk about, you don't need, yes, they will ask for your, I think there's somewhere where they ask for your social media links and all those things, but it is, I saw it about with my, like, I have experienced it right myself, that you don't really need to be someone who is saying everything and anything and trying to be relevant in even in things that you don't understand. Just go at your own pace. Just make sure that your application, you have proofread it and you have included everything, and be as honest as possible when you need some kind of assistance, maybe when you have a disability or when you have some kind of condition that you need to talk about. It's between you and those who will be reviewing your application. Don't even think about me. Don't think about your friend somewhere. Don't even think about anyone. Just think about you and what you'll get from this opportunity. Thank you.
Wow, think about what you will get from this opportunity. Thank you, Tsaone, for such encouraging words that if indeed you could do it, we are also equal to the task to accomplish it, to do it. I'm really touched. Your determination, your hard work, your resilience is something that is continuously amazes me. It never ceases to amaze me on a daily basis. You are someone one can definitely look up to. You know, you are so touching. And Elizabeth Katlago Budigelo says, Ms. Tsaone, thank you. This is inspiring. Wow, it is indeed inspiring. And also, before I forget, you know,
Mhm.
the Mandela Washington Fellowship application, can I apply and leave? Or maybe I apply and save it and come back again? Or how does it work? Like, does one have to apply and stay while I'm applying? I must complete the application, or I can leave the site and come back later.
Trust me, if I was to apply the same day and finish the application, I wouldn't have ever applied, because for me, I need to go back and try think and just be clear on what I want to say after looking at the questions, after working on one essay and seeing the question for the next essay. So you apply at your pace. You can just come, put whatever responses you want to put, you leave, you come back and you continue. That's how it works. And after you have applied and submitted, not submitted, after you have applied and finished, sometimes not sometimes, all the time, they ask you if you want to download a PDF that has your responses. Then you can download the PDF, then you go look at your responses. Then they will ask you if you want to submit. Then if you think there are things that you need to correct, you can go back and correct, because you would have read it now in a PDF format, reading how your response go and how you responded to each and every question. Yeah.
Wow, interesting. Elizabeth says I'm definitely applying, and Daniel Lekua says very insightful and genuine. Thank you so much, Tsaone. I love how you delivered it. It's not as scary as people out here portray it. Hence, I asked you, please explain the biased views, hey?
Yeah, I
And
understand.
yeah. So Bougie says, my sister, now for the fun part. How much is the stipend? Do you guys have a stipend there?
The money.
The
The
moolah, the moolah.
the most interesting part. The reason why you need to go. I'm not going to
Oh,
tell you, just know that there is money. And they are nice things you're going to come with from the US that you can't find in Botswana and South Africa. So I'm not telling you about the money, just apply. You'll tell
nice.
me if you
So they are
you
benefits. So
enjoyed
you
your
really get to
stipend.
like, wow. So there's actually pocket money when you go that side.
Yes, let me tell you about maybe the categories, not the amount. There is
All
a
right.
pre-arrival stipend. Before you go, they give you money to prepare.
Hmm.
Then, then when you get there, they give you money. Then when you are about to leave, they give you money. So there's money.
Oh, no, guys, they spoke my language. I think with that being said, as Mr. Honest was saying, you can apply and go back. So, tonight I'll spend the night on the application and I will rest a bit and go back because, as she said, it's very much impossible to complete it in one go. Or else maybe it would compromise the quality of the writing that you would be doing. So definitely, this is an opportunity for us all, guys. Let's make sure we go for it. The world is center stage. Why are you scared of applying when we have such great opportunities? Hey, if I'm opening the platform for any questions, anyone, before we do the closing remarks. Anyone who has any question, I've read a couple of questions out. If you have maybe one last question, or maybe we can really just ask Ms. Tsaone before we do the closing remarks. Tiamo Tau says, this would be my second time applying. Hopeful for a great success this time around. Thank you, Tsaone. Anastasia says, very insightful session. Thank you, Ms. Tsaone. And then Buji and Booked says, Abuti then, that's where me and you like it. So definitely people are in it to win it for the money, definitely. The moolah talks, I see you guys. I didn't know. I just knew that I would be applying. But thank you guys for putting the cherry on top. And if there is no any other questions, Miss Exilda Mubanga, if you are you available? If before you do the closing, Nuret says, wait, Tsaone, must one be a Yali alumnus to better qualify? That is a question from Nuret. She says, must one be a Yali alumni in order to better qualify, or they can just go straight in? That's just the question. Tsaone, you can take it on.
You can just go straight in like I did.
Wow.
So you don't really need to be a Yali alumni.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for.
I have a question.
All right.
Okay, so Tsaone, I am currently preparing my application, right? And it has to do with advocating for lupus, right? Or rare autoimmune illnesses. So should I mention what other organizations are doing for autoimmune illnesses and how I plan to bring similar initiatives to Botswana? I think that's what I want to know before we close.
These are other organizations in the US.
Yes.
Okay. I think not being specific to an organization that says, maybe you'll say so and so organization does this. You can just write things that you would like to learn from the organizations in the United States, if they have advanced resources and all those things that you would have read about or know. You can just mention that, because you are placed at a school, and even when you are placed at an organization, it's not that you chose the organization, is how they do their things and their placement, where they just know this one might be suitable for this institution. So you don't want to maybe limit yourself to saying this organization, and they say they look at your application and think now you are just trying to go there and do certain things that maybe they don't align with their way of placement.
Got it. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for that.
And you wouldn't want to disappoint yourself, where you find yourself going to an organization that you really didn't want to go to. It's just expressing what you want to learn from. Like maybe if there's a name for such kind of organizations, you can just broadly mention that name and don't be specific to a single or 2, 3, 4 organizations.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much for the insightful question. I believe that not only did it help you, but it also helped even someone else who's attending the session. And before we leave, guys, we're going to take a group picture. But before that, Miss Exilda, can you please do the closing remarks for us after such a beautiful session that we had? Remember that Black girl, Black child, your dreams are valid.
Valid and attainable.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tsaone. You are really a great inspiration. I think we in the chat box, we can just give Tsaone some round of applause, please.
Thank you, Tsaone.
Thank you.
Miss Exilda, over to you.
Right, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed the session. First and foremost, I would like to thank Kitemetse for hosting the session and keeping it very lively. Then I would also like to thank Tsaone for taking out time out of her schedule just to educate us on the Mandela Washington Fellowship. So I personally have gained so much insight on the application, and I'll try and also apply. And I hope everyone has also gained enough insight from the knowledge that Tsaone has shared with us. I just want to encourage each one of you to try out. Don't limit yourself, as well as say your dreams are valid. And they say you're better off trying and learning from the experience than never trying. So you try it. If it doesn't work out, then you can always try next year. But always make sure that you give it a try. Sound is available, and if you need other people who can help you proofread, you can reach out to any of the associates, any of the caucus leaders, and they'll surely be available to assist you where they can. If they're unable to, they'll refer you to someone that might be available to assist you. So once again, I just want to thank Tsaone for coming through and educating us. And I want to thank the young female leaders for also joining through to this session. For those that are not part of the Amazon Leadership Initiative, please, you are always welcome to be part of us. You can reach out to us by sending an email at info@theyali.org, or you can reach us on our various social media platforms. So you can just search for the Amazon Leadership Initiative either on LinkedIn, Facebook, X, even TikTok. So you can reach out to us on any of those platforms. So I just want to encourage all of you to just be yourself, even as you apply for the fellowship. Just as Tsaone had mentioned, that you have to be authentic, you have to be bold, and also share out your strengths and aspirations. So I hope that this session has been insightful and will give you that little push that you needed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Exilda. You're always one of the people that we know that they're readily available for the Yali, who continuously nurturing and pouring water onto the fertile ground that the Yali has indeed planted. With that said, I think we can take a family photo. Miss Nurat, are you ready with the capturing? I think we can all open up our cameras, and we're just going to take a picture, a family picture. And yes, guys, let's do this. I hope you all are ready. And we can just say, Black girl, Black child, your dreams are valid. So when I say Black child, you guys will say, your dreams are valid. Black child,
Your dreams are valid.
woo, Black child,
Your dreams are valid.
Your
Let's
dreams are
go.
valid.
Your dreams are valid. Why don't you sound like you believe your dreams are valid?
Your dreams. Your dreams are valid.
Indeed, Black child, your dreams are valid. Thank you so much, everyone, for such a fruitful gathering. We are so blessed to have you guys all here. I believe that, as I was saying earlier, that a testimony will definitely come out, that someone who attended here is definitely going there because of these wisdom nuggets that we got. they are definitely going to impact us. If you don't get accepted, make sure those wisdom nuggets, you keep them for the year after. We do not throw information away. Information never gets stale. It just gets better, just like fine wine. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I can now adjourn the meeting of the Amazon Leadership Initiative. Thank you so much for joining. God bless. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, ladies.